In trying to think outside the box, my research brought me to a social worker by the name of Grace Longwell Coyle. She was a big pioneer of this idea of social group work, which I didn't even realize was considered social work. It's, for example, like a YMCA or a YWCA, the idea of meeting new people, forming a community with people that might think alike, might think differently, might be going through the same struggles, and working through those, getting to know people through activities and recreation. Grace Coyle, she earned her sociology doctoral degree from Columbia University in 1931, and then she went on to write several books on social work from the group perspective, and those books include Social Process in Organized Groups, Studies in Group Behavior, Group Experiences and Democratic Values, Group Work with American Youth, and Social Science in the Professional Education of Social Workers. And those span from 1930 all the way to 1958. And her impact on the social work profession is obviously evident in the pages that she wrote. She wrote articles. She worked as an instructor and developed a course in the School of Applied Science, Social Sciences at Western Reserve University in Cleveland, Ohio. And not only did she teach these courses, she later then became the president of the National Conference of Social Work in 1940. She was the president of the American Association of Social Workers in 1942, and then later on the Council of Social Work Education from 1958 to 1960. So now that we know a little bit of the background on Grace Coyle, we can start to discover the impact that she had on what started as a small world and grew into a much bigger world, and things that we are using even more so today thanks to her. This idea of social group work, it started kind of back in the like 1920s, but it wasn't really fully established. She, again, big pioneer of it. One of her big focuses in that area was adult education. Now that could be through courses in universities or these YMCA's, recreational activities. Social group work kind of expands on the idea that social work doesn't have to be one-on-one, a person talking to a therapist. It doesn't have to be your traditional, you're in an office. You can have fun and experience community and build bonds and relationships with people that also leads to leadership opportunities. You are more likely to become, vulnerable and open up and discover other people might be going through the same thing you are once you're more comfortable with them and you're in a setting where you kind of loosen up a little bit. It's this idea of leisure time, and she obviously realized that. A direct quote here from one of these articles that she wrote is, "A group work section was established in the National Conference of Social Work in 1935, and an association of group workers was founded in 1936, which 10 years later became a professional organization of group workers." Not only did Grace Coyle's development in group work help build community and clients that might be going through and trying to figure out their way in life and get healthy mentally and really serve their mental health in holding each other accountable, but it created a whole new section and opportunities for jobs for social workers to be working in these group settings and using different techniques to get people to open up. And in turn, they can go out and be leaders in their community and continue to work on themselves while also helping others. And I think that idea speaks volumes to her whole research path, because we still use those platforms. We have YMCAs, we have after school programs for youth, we have before school programs for youth, we have adult education. The impact in the long run, I think, is the biggest takeaway that I discovered from Grace Coyle, because it might take a while for you to open up to people that you don't know right away, and being with them and holding each other accountable and building bonds and forming leadership is going to then help the community on a much wider scale than what it started back in the 20s. And this creates a new avenue, a place where you might not even think you're going through a therapy session. You are, and you can grow from these group settings. Grace Coyle obviously realized that, and that's why we're still practicing a lot of that today. We can look at social group work as a way to build routine, build structure for people on a daily, weekly basis. Their communication continues to grow. They're developing speaking to people and being integrated into communities through group work. You're surrounding yourself with other people and you're learning from other people, other people's experiences. By building these small communities, they can spill over into bigger communities to have a bigger impact on a bigger world. And I think it's great that she brought this, what started as a lesser known idea of group work, and brought it to a much larger scale that we can still use today, creating opportunities to reach more people. And the more people we reach, the bigger the world can be. So Grace Coyle was a big pioneer in the social work community in that regard.